Hey there, everyone. Welcome to the Hyde Park Ninjas and Sunday Funday with special guest Shaktilyn. Shaktilyn, how are you doing?
Hey, I'm doing great, Ninja. Thank you. Recovering from looks like my screen's frozen.
I see that. What is going on
Yeah,
there? I can hear you good. You're frozen, though.
wait. Mute.
Let's see. I don't see anything on my end. That's weird.
Do you want me to leave and re-enter?
Yeah, let's try that real quick. We'll pop you back in there.
Oh, all right.
There she is. Now she's moving. Hello,
Hi,
hello again. How are
everybody.
you? So for today, we got Shak here, and we had a kick KO to the curb. They got crushed last night by San Fran, so we had to bring someone in from San Fran this morning and have a little bit
Hey,
of
I got
fun. So, but no, seriously, we didn't kick out KO. He's got a really cool fitness event that they're doing this weekend, and he is a Green Bay fan though, so I'm sure he's hurting a little bit. That was a very close game last night. So, Shaq, how do you
it.
feel about
Sure.
that game? It's a big win for you guys.
Yeah, no, that was amazing. That was an incredible finish.
So we've got ours tonight. We got the big game against Kansas City. So we'll see how that one turns out. We have our event in just a little while, actually. So, but well, hello to everybody. We've got Michael Kohler in the house. Michael, how you doing? Great to see you. Laban in the house. Caesar, how you doing? Good to see you. So, well, so are you recovering from yesterday? Yesterday was a really long day.
I am recovering. I didn't get up this morning till I think it was around 11 a.m. and I felt dizzy and just dead. This this thing in Mumbai combined with the totems has absolutely wiped me out.
Oh yeah, it was a early. Well, I guess for you, you're on the other side of the coast or the other side of the country. It was probably really late for you. It was just really early here for us. Or I guess in your case, it was really early too. So, but I
Yeah,
had got on that thing. I think we were a little bit later than you guys, and I was already exhausted before I got into classes on Saturdays. So,
yeah. Well, I wore a sari to the Mumbai meeting, and I don't know how to put a sorry on myself. So at 8 p.m., we went over to um, our friend's house so that she could wrap my sorry for me. And that was at 8 p.m. And so I sat around, I got home around 9. So 10, 11, 12. So I got to sit around in a sorry for like 5.5 hours waiting to go on, which was 2:30 in the morning my time.
Oh my
Then there were
gosh.
technical issues, so I don't think we actually started till about 3 a.m. And
Holy
then we
cow.
finished around a little after 4 a.m. And then I needed to feed my totems before I could go to sleep. And so got to sleep at 4:30 and then still got up in the morning to have my day and keep feeding totems.
Well, it sounds
I
like you
feed
guys
totems.
got some of the kinks worked out before we got on, so we appreciate that. We got started just a couple minutes late,
Okay.
but not too many technical issues. I know I did see some of the restream that you sent me from yesterday, and some of it was really hard to hear. I know the audio
Yeah.
wasn't really good, so I don't know if they'll have another piece that comes out that's a little bit easier to listen to or not, but we'll see. I think this is only the second year they've done it, correct? I was not on it
Right.
last year, so. How did it compare to
Right.
last year?
I didn't see last year's, but I know that this is a really expensive event for Tan Sharma to put on. I think it costs like $900 out of his pocket,
Oh,
which
wow.
is a lot of money in India,
Yeah.
and it's very, very expensive for him. So uh, I think it's awesome what he is doing, and I think the Metaverse Street Journal is an amazing, um, you know. And did you see that he is the Metaverse Street Journal is like the official Metaverse broadcaster for the G20?
Really? I didn't know that.
Yeah. So
That's
he's
great.
doing a great job.
Well, it takes a lot to spread the word, and he reached out, and I was really excited. I think I met him through Too Stupid to Win on his channel with the UpX podcast, and so we were really excited about it. Got on there early, and I know you had the first panel, so you guys had a little bit different. I think a little different topic than we did. And what kind of questions did you guys get, and what was your actual topic?
The topic was commercialization and how to make money in Upland. And one of the questions,
Uh-oh,
is
I think Shak is
possible.
frozen. Oh, there she comes.
Am I back? I'm still frozen on my screen.
You're frozen, but I can hear you now.
Okay, well, he did not play Upland, and he wanted to know if you could actually earn money in Upland. And so there was a variety of answers. There's somebody that knows somebody who does earn a living in Upland.
Hmm.
And so he said, and that was Matt Turbo. And he said, yeah, definitely. And I said that, depending on what country you live in and how your economy is, you could probably definitely earn a good secondary income if you play your cards right, but you need to get familiar with the market first.
Yeah, I
But
would agree
he
with that.
said, thought, yeah, he said he thought he was going to join Upland later that day. He seemed pretty excited about it.
Very
So
cool.
that was cool. Someone else wanted to know if Upland was going to connect to Steam,
Hmm.
the right someday, and I was kind of like, yeah, probably not. But who knows?
From what I
But we
understand,
had
it's a lot of hoops to jump through to make that even happen.
right, yeah, and I don't think that they're thrilled about blockchain and crypto at this point.
No, definitely not.
So, but we had Danny Brown Wolf on our panel.
Oh, very
She
cool.
wasn't a panelist; she was just there silently, but she actually ended up taking a lot of the questions.
Oh, wow.
And somebody wanted to know about indoor experiences, and it was really exciting listening to Danny. Um, she talked about how they've got two things going on right now that are on parallel tracks. Can you still hear me okay?
Yeah, we can hear you, and we get a little bit of movement every second and a half. So we're looking good.
Uh, that's going to be weird. Anyway, she said there's two things going on parallel tracks for indoor experiences. And those were the Sparklet, where you actually will end up spending Spark in order to create legits.
Oh,
She said that legits are going to be the asset class that are used for all things indoor.
hmm. Very cool.
So I imagined like a sofa legit
Uh-huh.
that you, um, and the other one had to do with working with Nowhere and potentially other partners to have the indoor space environment. And I think the first that we will see that is cafes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So anyway, it was really cool.
Awesome. It'd be interesting
How
to
did
see
yours
because
go?
I know ours went really good. It was a lot of fun. We had some really good questions. Um, a lot of them were asking kind of, I think one of the questions came up was kind of similar to can you earn a living, with Upland? And I think it is possible depending on where you live, expenses, all that stuff. But it's, in my opinion, right now, at this stage for me, it's more of, you're working towards a second or, an alternative income to build upon. So, but it would take a while to really build and make it big. So, but it's
Yes, I
definitely
agree
a
with that.
potential down the road. I mean, everything is like brand new and cutting edge right now. And, there's so many people that really don't know. Not only do they not know about the metaverse, but even the ones, even, including us, we're all learning as it goes and just adapting to what's going on. And, once we get things figured out, a little bit better in the next maybe 5 to 10 years, it's going to make
Yes.
a big difference to what we can do with it. But there's a lot of really exciting things coming. And one of the things that came up in our panel was in like tying in real life products to the metaverse and stuff and how to do that. So and I think we had that question specifically because we do have our Ninjava coffee line, and they were asking a
Right.
little bit how to tie that together. And our recommendation was is to go through your communities and your Discord and kind of start there and just build it from there. You got to build it from there because the layer two capabilities will be more and more as we go, and even the layer one abilities are going to be more and more, as we go. So it's going to be exciting to see how everything kind of unwinds and develops. And um, that was interesting what you said about the indoor furniture. So are those going to be like kind of like map assets, but for inside?
Well, Danny did not explicitly say that. So I don't know. She talked about indoor items, right? Legits will be she she made the comparison. She said for outside we have map assets. She said for inside we will have legits. And so I don't know if that's just going to begin with, for example, art, an art legit that you can put on your wall. But surely at some point furniture will be coming. And so I envisioned the sofa and the chair, but she didn't explicitly say that.
Very
But
cool.
yes,
It's going to be
legits for
interesting to see how all that stuff rolls out and lays out. And also, as we're talking about these different things, what we're talking about, these are just our experiences within the metaverse and within Upland. And of course, none of this is financial advice. So this is what we've learned about it and kind of the things that we do. So make your own decisions and, have fun with it like we do too. It is a game and you can build, an income with it too on the side. So, but just a quick disclaimer there. Um, we had some things come up about like transportation too. I know we had Ace was in the particular panel that we were in, and I know he's a little bit more branched out with his factories and showrooms and stuff. So it was interesting to hear that side of it too, because that's something that for the Hyde Park Ninjas, we're not really spread out. We're very isolated to one area and one community right now, and that's kind of where we're building from. So it's going to be interesting. I know in the roadmap when Danny and Edan talked a little while back, they did talk about transportation coming. And, how quick is that going to be? What are your thoughts on that, on the transportation? Do you think that's something that's going to be like the first quarter, second quarter, later towards the end of the year? What kind of phases do you think that'll come out in?
Well, I have been expecting it in 2024, but and the Sparklet white paper did talk about the future utilities for Spark and mentioned transportation as one of those. Also mentioned the use of Sparklet, how you'd have to spend Sparklet to make legits. And so that white paper basically served as their, what was it, Q3
Hmm.
update and roadmap. So it really does make me expect transportation. However, I feel like, we don't know how long it's going to take for the Sparklet to actually get on an exchange. And that is making me think that transportation could be a little bit farther out.
That's what I was thinking too. I was honestly thinking towards like quarter four because me and KO were talking about this offline, and I think I actually don't have a, semi truck. Do you have a semi by chance?
I do. Yes, I
Now,
do.
did you guys have you received your back ends to the
Not
trailers? Do you
yet.
have like the trailer parts or no? Okay.
Not yet.
Because I figured those would be coming out eventually, and those will start popping up before the transportation stuff starts, I would imagine. And then, like you said, the Sparklet's got to be implemented, and that could roll out maybe at Genesis Week or something. Maybe the Sparklet hits. That'd be good timing with Genesis Week in June. Could be a good possibility. I know Danny's very excited about that when I heard her speak, and I know in getting to meet her in Vegas last year at Genesis Week, she's very in tuned with crypto and that side of the games. So she's very educated in that side. So I know she was very excited about Sparklet and some of the stuff coming with that.
She really is. And it's inspiring because when you have someone like Danny that is such an knowledgeable, expert person in that field, and she's so excited about what this is going to bring to Upland. And I know that she knows so much more about what they have planned.
Hmm.
She knows so much about the big picture. And so while I may not understand everything, I just find it very inspiring and exciting to see how somebody who is in the know, feels so much enthusiasm for what's coming.
Yeah, there is a lot of excitement there, and you can tell when she talks about it, which is it excites me too because I do believe in cryptos, and I think they are going to have a future. Not all of them. There's so many different cryptos, but I do feel pretty confident that those are going to be around for a long time and in some way, shape, or form. So it's going to be really cool to see how all that lays out and comes to the Upland in the metaverse. So it'd be really cool.
Yeah, I
Transportation.
agree with that. Yeah.
Let's see. Ace says, I assume the general personal transportation will be a thing before actual logistic transport. That totally makes sense. So I could totally see that where maybe you're having to use Spark for your cars in game and different things like that would come first, whether that's in place of sends or how that's going to work. It'd be really cool to see how that all kind of plays out.
Yeah, I agree with Ace there. Yeah.
So
Yeah,
how
so
are
you were
your
saying,
totems? How are your totems going? You said totems before.
oh, shoot, totems. I have to feed a totem. Um, 1 o'clock is feeding time.
Oh man.
Um, oh my goodness. Thank you for mentioning totems. They're doing really well. There was a bit of a a bug or something.
Oh,
Was it yesterday or the day before? People could not log in. Like I couldn't get into Upland on my desktop,
oh, really?
and but I could get in on my phone app.
Hmm.
But I couldn't feed my totems. I
Oh,
would
man.
enter the amount to feed and push, confirm, and then it would say something went wrong. So I jumped over to Upland technical bugs.
Hmm.
And sure enough, there were all kinds of people posting pictures about I can't feed my totem, I can't feed my totem.
Oh, wow.
And they got the problem fixed quite quickly. But because I had waited until the last minute to feed my totems, that delay in being able to feed them caused three of my totems to miss a feeding.
Oh, man.
And so my spend score dropped by like 10 points. So, but other than that, before that happened, all of my totems were like in the 90% and above.
Oh, that's
So
fantastic.
yeah, it's going really well. Um,
So you've got a couple that are
and
just malnourished a little bit. So that's not too bad.
yes, and the problem is they also have that base, the
Hmm.
type of base, the penalty for missing a feeding is that your cycle, gets shortened.
Oh,
So I'm not going to get many rewards because of
uh,
missing. Yeah, so it's not it's not great, but stuff like that is going to happen. Um,
I've been keeping up with
but no,
mine
I
for the most part, except for the orange ones are so tough. They're like every 8 hours.
yes,
I
yes,
missed one for a whole day. That was after I killed one.
right. Yes, no, they're really challenging, and there was a lot of room for error with orange when we first started, and we didn't know because right, it took time for people to understand totems, and so we're missing all these feedings because we didn't know. So yeah, this is going to be the month with the most penalties
Hmm.
because we didn't know. I want to thank the community though, Umbrella Boy and RDP and Mass Chef and and the Analytic Assassins.
Oh, yeah.
You know, and yeah, and Too Stupid to Win with his spreadsheet. Like the community really came together and got this figured out really quickly, and it's been so helpful. I just want to thank our community for putting in the work and decoding the data so that people like I could understand what I need to do.
Yeah, and if you guys haven't visited the Creedmoor Discord, definitely hit that up. They did a great job with the totems, and I know we picked up a lot of tips from over there. And I know Umbrella Boy and all those guys have been working really, really hard on cracking that code. So it definitely helped me because mine probably would have already all been dead had I not, been able
Right.
to get some of that information. So, I know they really helped all of the communities in that aspect. So it looks like Caesar killed one as well. He killed an orange one. So I've got one that's the same. Now these come back, right? So once you kill one, it actually comes back because this is like practice.
Yeah, yeah, this is cycle one, but there's going to
Okay.
be at least 5 cycles. So we'll get to try again when this cycle ends.
So this is, what this reminds me of is when I was in school, and I think it was health class, and they had you carry this egg around that was like a baby, and you had to take care of it. And that's what I feel like these
Right.
totems are. It's bringing back memories. I got to
Oh,
say, I
yeah.
did better with that egg than I'm doing with my totems right now, though. So the egg I only had to take to school and bring it around when I was up. With the totems, they're at these crazy hours, and I've got maybe I just have too many different colors. I've got red ones, green ones. The green one I'm really loving because it's on a 24-hour cycle. It's super easy. So I've got green, red, purple, and orange. So I just feel
Green,
like
red.
they're like all over the board.
Right. I have those colors plus brown.
Oh, brown. Okay.
Yeah, and having 5 different colors, like, it's constant. So always have to feed the brown one at 1 a.m.
1
and then I
a.m. Oh,
always have
man.
my orange at 5 a.m. And so I don't get to sleep all night at all this whole month. It's been challenging.
So I guess cycle one is
And
kind
I'm
of
going
a
to,
learning experience because with all of the different totems having different like time frames, is cycle two starts and we have this information now, maybe that will help us to better gauge when we should start them so that the hours kind of fall
yes,
in a better place for us. Or maybe there's certain colors that just don't work for some people's schedules and stuff. That could be too. Now, what happens if it changes in cycle two? Do you know, is it going to change or have they put any information out on that?
I've heard that question a lot. Of course, I don't know. I do not know, but I cannot see them just completely changing everything. That would feel like a dirty trick, and I really don't think.
So when does cycle two start? Is that April Fool's Day? That could happen, right?
I don't know. I haven't figured that out. We have How much time do we have left?
See,
Let's
today
see.
today's the
It
21st,
says there's
so
18 days left, maybe.
okay.
Uh,
So
Um,
we're
maybe.
more than
Yeah,
not we're not quite halfway yet then. Okay.
right. I'm going to work on feeding my totems, so if it looks like I'm doing something else, I am.
I was doing the same thing. I had a couple that were off the cycle I was on earlier, so I just looked at those as well, and I was a little bit behind. I missed by an hour there, so I'm sure I just stunted the growth of my totem here live on stream
Do you
too.
have
So
any that are pro- Do you have anything do you have any totems that are producing good rewards yet?
So I do. My one of my purple ones has been doing pretty well, and my green one is doing pretty well. They're in the 70 range. I think actually on the green one, I may have hit 80 on the last feeding, the last time I collected.
That's awesome. That's great.
And I still have
What
Protem left too. So that's good.
good. What type of animals are they? The ones that are producing well?
Let me see here. The dragonfly is the green one. And then I believe it's my shark totem. Wait, I think it's my purple panda. I think that's the other one that's producing pretty well.
Okay. Yeah, panda and dragonfly seem to be doing very well right now. They've hit some part of the curve where it's going well.
Yeah, I'm liking those two right now.
Yes.
The red ones have been horrible, actually, and those take a lot to feed. I think I'm feeding them like 50 a day, or 50 a feeding, I should say. So those are consuming a lot of food, but there's no output out of them.
Well, I have a red panda,
Hmm.
and the pandas have hit a great part of the curve, and I'm getting over 100 protum back from my panda, and it's red.
Okay.
So don't keep the faith, because I think once your red animals hit the part of the curve,
Mm-hmm.
the reward curve, it will it'll probably be good.
So I've got three sharks. I've got a orange shark, a red shark, and a purple shark, and those are definitely my three worst ones. Those are not
Yeah.
producing anything. Actually, my orange shark is dead. He's the one that died. So my
Oh, that's too
sharks, the
bad.
sharks were not a good animal, I guess. That wasn't a good totem animal to have.
The sharks the
Hmm.
sharks haven't hit the reward part of the curve yet.
Oh, that's right. They're on a different curve. Okay, that makes
Yeah.
sense. Well, I've got two that
So
still
I think
have a little
they'll be good.
potential then,
Lots of potential there.
except for the one that died. So good. Well, I got cycle two to look forward to. So how's your Spark Tycoon doing? I know you started a little bit of Spark Tycoon. How's that progressing for
Yeah,
you?
It's going really well. I have 8 ore mines and 8 lumber mills,
Fantastic.
and I think I have 6 windmills. So now I'm using the resources that my I'm I'm spending my resources to get more windmills.
Oh, perfect. So you're just kind of
So I'm
reinvesting
almost
it.
yeah, so I'm almost ready to do another windmill.
Oh, very cool.
And yeah, yeah.
So is that
So
your now do you do treasure hunting pretty religiously, or is that something you just started? Or do you just do sends to get
I
the loot boxes?
right now I'm just using my sends to get the loot boxes. I was treasure hunting every day before totems. But then that I had to put that off for a while. So now I just try to use my sends, and I didn't get to do that because of the Mumbai.
Hmm.
So I've missed a couple of days, but yeah.
Yeah, I slipped up on
And
one day there in between as well because of that.
so, but I think treasure hunting is great. Even before Spark Tycoon, it's just such a great way to get extra epics and Spark.
Yeah, 100%
And
agree.
Spark Tycoon, what I love about it is that it's made me want to send to other people's properties.
Yeah.
I used to very stubbornly only send to my own properties until the very end when it was time to get the treasure. And now I don't care. It's like,
Just a free for all now.
yes. So,
I have noticed the sends in my account have definitely gone up. You know, the visitations at the properties have definitely been back
yeah,
up to where they were when I first started treasure hunting. So it's really cool to see that, you know, that bump in the people sending and doing treasure hunts. So I mean, I am very excited about that. I know the market was down a little bit today in Spark Tycoon. The numbers are dropping, so I know people were freaking out a little bit, but there's so
yeah,
much still to come. I mean, it's Spark Tycoon is in its infancy. It's literally just started, so there's so many updates to come, and I know they've got. It sounds like, according to looking at the Discord, Stash and his team have a lot planned and a lot coming out down the road. So after four
right.
weeks, it's I've been having a lot of fun with it, and I'm in it for the long term as well. So I'm kind of like you said earlier, I'm reinvesting my resources. And then if I see stuff on deal, I go and pick it up, and the market's low, definitely pick some up and just keep building up the mills. And I think I'm up to 77 windmills now. And I think with the
Wow.
ore and lumber, I've got about 24 each. I haven't got too much into the furnaces. I've got one furnace. Right now, if you look at the numbers, it doesn't really make sense to burn 15 lumber to get one
Right,
energy. It just doesn't make sense. The numbers just don't, they don't make sense there. So
right.
I know there's going to be different utility and different function coming out for those. There is a purpose. I know Stash had said that in the Discord. So I'll just hold on to the ones that I have and, wait for that time. And when the time is right, we can use those resources we have.
Yeah, yeah, I agree with that. Stosh is a smart guy, and they've done a great job with the UPX Spark Exchange. And I think it's for me, it feels like a good bet. It
Mhm.
seems like I mean, it doesn't put me out at all
Mm-mm.
to use my send and get loot boxes and build these mills.
Mhm.
So I only see an upside, um, and I do. I think that they have a lot planned for Spark Tycoon, and I can't wait to see the future.
Yeah,
I'm excited about it.
it sounds like it's gonna be really good, and, one thing I really like too, because I watch in all the Discords, and I notice, when there's questions, Stash and his team are on it, like, right away. They're really receptive. I know
Yeah.
anytime I've had, like, an issue or a question, if I send a message, he's on top of it, on top of what he does,
Yes.
like, in real life, so that's really impressive. He's got a lot of commitment to what he's doing, and that's definitely going to attract a lot of attention, and it's only going to build from there. So it'd be really interesting to see where it goes. I know he was talking the other day, I think about, um, I think I heard it. It was either in the Discord or on. It might have been a podcast that he was doing with Cheese Whiz, More Cheese, and I think
Yeah.
they were talking about how you'll be able to use like the resources to make a sword or craft a sword, for certain things. So that's the kind of stuff, you can see the utility and where those resources are going to be used later. So it's valuable to have those. So I know a lot of people are
Yes.
doing just the build the nodes and sell them, build the nodes and sell them. And that fluctuates with the market and you see it go up and down. And I'm kind of holding on to it for long term and just kind of letting it
Yes.
set. And with the treasure hunts, you don't really, for me, I've always done treasure hunts. I usually wake up early and do them when I have coffee in the morning. And I don't really have to change any of my daily habits as far as what I was doing in Upland already. And then you collect those resources. And then at that point, it's a game. You can choose what you want to do. So if you're the type of person that wants to build and sell, there's some profits to be made there. If you want to hold them for a long term, it's the same thing. So it's really exciting because there's not, in my opinion, there's not like just one way to play it because it is a game. Everybody plays games different. You can choose
Right.
your lane and kind of go with it and have fun.
Yes. Yeah, I agree. How long does it take you to treasure hunt in the morning to use all your
Um,
sends?
that's a good question. So if I wake up really early before everybody else gets going, I can get them done pretty quick. But sometimes I'll get squirreled and get distracted, and then something pops up somewhere else, a message, and you get onto that message, and then you forget you were in the middle of a treasure hunt. So I would say most times I can get them all done in a half hour, usually.
That's amazing.
Yeah, half hour, 45 minutes tops. And then there's some days where I'll get a bunch done, like in the morning with coffee, and then maybe I'll hit a couple on lunch break or something like that, and just kind of fill them up throughout the day. If there's anything left that I didn't get to, I'll hit it up before I go to bed at night and finish it off that way.
That's great.
So I
I
can
feel like
honestly
it
say
takes
that I've actually
hours.
been sitting in bed doing the last couple treasure hunts and falling asleep. And I
I
think
usually treasure when we
uh,
watch Netflix at night,
oh, there you go. Yep, multitasking.
but it takes me hours because there's like, I'm switching between screens. I'll go to UPX land and look for find my send, and then I'll go
Hmm.
gather more send and start the next hunt. And I swear it takes me a very long time.
Oh, do you go to Upland to find those?
Yeah.
Oh, well, I just search them usually. So I'll just
You
like
mean you
kind of
just look around
scroll
the
through the
map for them?
screen. I do. That's how I do it.
Oh,
So it was a
okay.
lot
Well, that,
easier when you were able to do it on the desktop in the pads, but with the phone, I have a lot more trouble doing that on the phone
okay.
screen.
Well, I have a really nice treasure hunting web in San Francisco. And then I also know that Thank Me Later and Dizzy
Hmm.
and Sunstar, right? They all have their fees sent to the lowest. So if I can't find sends by my properties using UPX lands, find my send, then I can enter Thank Me Later's name
Hmm.
because he has hundreds or maybe thousands of properties in San Francisco. And so I always use player names who have set the lowest send fees into the Find My Send search,
Yep.
and that works really well for me.
I'll have to learn how to use that part of it. I actually haven't used that on Upix Land because I always land on TML's properties. I land on a lot of yours because I do all my treasure hunting in San Fran. I think TM's
Okay.
got all of his set at 25. Too Stupid to Win does. So those are some frequent
Right.
ones. And that there's a few people that
Yes.
have them set to like 125. There's one little section. I can't remember who owns it,
Yeah.
but there's one whole section and they're all 125. I usually try to
Right.
stay away from that one because that gets
I
expensive. You start hitting a
refuse.
few in there.
I flat refuse just on principle. If
Yeah.
you're setting your fees, I usually won't land on 50 either. It, I have a I have a moral and ethical problem with trying to profit off of fellow players and
Hmm.
I probably should get over that so that I can, like, you know, profit myself. But I've always had a moral and ethical problem with that, and I just flat refuse to land on anyone who has set high send fees. I just won't, even if it means losing a treasure.
Yeah.
I'm just not going to do it.
Yeah. I'm the same way. So it burns up all your upics that you're going to earn in your treasure hunts too. So it doesn't make any sense. I had heard
Yeah. Plus, it rewards bad behavior.
there's a neighborhood in Queens. I heard that it's a node, and they have the whole node. Everybody in there has got their fees set to 125.
Yep. That,
And I'm
I
actually
will
in
not
that
do it.
node, and I've got mine set to the lowest actually. So I don't like to do
Okay.
that.
Well, good for you. I once, I remember telling someone once that, you, you know, we don't get to talk to players all the time. Not everyone is on Discord. And I said, your send fee is like a message that you're sending to the community. And it's the only message you're able to send is your behavior.
Hmm.
And if you set your send fees high, you are sending the message, I want to take advantage of you. And if you set it to the lowest, you're sending the message, I care about you, and I'm trying to make things better and easier for you in Upland. I think it's a message that you send. And so you have to ask yourself, what message do you want to send? Who are you? And what are you telling the world about who you are? That's the way I look at it.
Yeah, it's like looking at that front door, and the front door has a welcome sign, right? And then when you see that
Right.
125, it's like, stay away, go away, keep
Yeah.
out.
Yeah. Yeah. No, really, it's exactly like that.
It is. It
So
is.
I obviously have very strong feelings about send fees.
I do too, because I do a lot of treasure hunting, and there is one area in San Fran over to I guess it's to the East Coast over there in the center, and the send fees are always really, really high. I can't remember the name of the player who it is now off the top of my head, but it's always at 125. So I'll usually look in their little area where they own almost everything. There's a couple properties that are FSA, and those are the ones that they don't own. So I'll click on those right away, and those are sitting right at about 30 or 50 somewhere in there. So I'll go to those every day of the week.
Yeah. Yeah.
Lightning Leg says that TML has the stats that low send fees pay more. And I do remember him and Too Stupid to Win actually talked about that on the UpX podcast, I believe.
Yes. No, it's true. People who have followed my advice and lowered their send fees after talking to me have come back and said to me, oh my God, it's like they opened the floodgates.
Hmm.
And I'm like, yeah, it's because
And
no
it's
one
no
wants
extra
to land on
work, right? It
or
doesn't take any extra work to
otherwise.
do that.
No, you just set it to the lowest and
Yeah.
all of a sudden they come. You build it, they come. I mean, it's not rocket science.
No, no. And the more properties you own, the more, more visits you're going to get like that too. So
Right.
it's crazy.
I'm
So
still
did
trying to feed my totems.
I think I'm good for 4 more hours, and that's going to be smack dab in the middle of the football game. So hopefully I'll get a feeding in at halftime and not get distracted.
Are you having like a football party?
So we actually have a Bills backers group here in our area in
Okay.
the Carolinas, and we get together with a whole group, and we have a private room at a local restaurant, and we just kind of get together there, and we play the Buffalo music, and we do giveaways and raffles and all kinds of stuff. So we make an event of it usually for the early games. We don't usually go out much for the late games, just too late, and I have a hard time staying up that late for stuff. So we're going to go to this one because this is a very big game. Normally for the late games, we would just stay home and watch it, but we're looking forward to it. We got a really cool group to go out and watch with, and we just get together and have a good time.
That sounds awesome. Is
Yeah.
there food involved?
Oh yeah, there's food. Definitely food.
What's the traditional food? Like, what do you expect to be eating tonight?
So tonight at the place that we hang out at it's kind of close to our houses. It's just basic food, nothing fancy. There's chicken wings and stuff like that. They the place that we go to doesn't actually have a lot of the traditional buffalo food. We have to travel a little bit to get that. So it's just a little bit different. They just have like regular like tavern bar type food. So nothing too fancy. They got some nice ahi tuna salads and different things like that. So they have a lot of good stuff. And then there's plenty of bad
Nice.
stuff to eat too. So
I was envisioning like Super Bowl food, like, chili and chips and dip and celery and
there's plenty of like the chips and dip type stuff that they have there. The what are those? The nachos, the loaded nachos and all that stuff. I know a lot of people get that stuff.
yeah. Okay.
So, do you guys have
Well, it's
anything you
making
do
me.
for your football games there? Are you guys big San Fran fans, or do you guys do anything for it, or watch it at the house?
We watch it at the house. My husband is, um, I don't know. He likes to pick the wins and look at what he thinks the spread will be,
Hmm.
and he's super into sports. So um,
We got to get him
I
into
think
the
that
Hyde Park Ninja Node. We got the pick'ems that we do every week. He'd have fun with that.
yeah, yeah. No, he's good. Um, so we actually will root for teams based on our predictions
Hmm.
more than just having like loyalty to a certain team.
Ah.
Especially that's my style. I'm really weird. I'm really weird, and I'm sorry for like all of you sports fans, but I have a really weird way of looking at it, and I'm like, well, these players, they're not from your town, and they, last year they played for a different team, and so what does the team from your town really mean, right? It's just a bunch of guys recruited to throw a ball around. And so I just have a really cynical and strange way of looking at it. So it's much easier for me to get into rooting for whatever team I've predicted will win. That just, I don't know, lands a little better for me.
Uh-huh. So who are you
but,
predicting for the
um,
Super Bowl? Who
but
do you
I
think's
do
going to go
have
to the
my
Super Bowl this
49ers shirt
year?
on.
I do see that. Yeah.
Who do we think is going to Super Bowl this year? Baltimore, San Francisco.
Okay. I'm with them on San Fran. I'm hoping Buffalo's going to take out Baltimore. We'll see. It's going to be a tough game. Baltimore is playing really well right now. So it'll be interesting. I had actually picked Buffalo and San Fran at the very beginning of the year, so we'll see if it happens. And
Well,
there's
I'm
a
going
lot
to
of
be
good teams
rooting
out
for
there.
you.
So yeah, it's gonna
I'm
be a tough
happy to
one
root
tonight.
for you.
We got Taylor Swift coming to town in Buffalo, so
That's awesome. Taylor Swift is a good girl. I like her. Yep.
so we'll see. I guess they're going to have a very cold day in Buffalo. I've got some friends and family that are going to be at the game there, and they've had a ton of snow in the Buffalo area. So I think they got cleaned out, and the weather got a little bit nicer today, a little bit more bearable. So hopefully it'll be a nice clear night, and they can kick that game off.
Awesome. Well, I am rooting for your team. I would like to see you because I know you really care about it. And so, you know, I'll be super happy for you if they pull this off. That will be great. So we want the Bills to go to the Super Bowl. Is
That's
that
it. We
what
can
I'm
make a
hearing?
Super Bowl trip then. We could do a San Fran. We can get the families together and go San Fran and the Bills at the Super Bowl.
All right.
And it'll only cost 100 grand to go. Oh,
Well, good luck in that.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, what do you guys got planned for the rest of your Sunday here?
Sunday, I'll finish taking care of totems, and I will keep taking care of totems, and we'll watch football. And yeah, maybe I can get my cents spent so that I can earn those loot boxes.
So did you
But I
hear
have to
on
figure out dinner.
the loot boxes? You know they're going to nerf those.
I heard that. Do we know when?
There's there's not been anything in Discord yet about that. I believe they're going to go down by 80 until they get all the way down to 30. I think that was the scale that I seen in Discord. Don't quote me on that, but I think that's what I saw. So right now we're at a max of 80 loot boxes per day. And then
Mm-hmm.
at a scale back, I believe by tens is what I read in the Discord. So I'm not sure who
Okay.
posted that or if Stosh had said that. I did hear the nerfing
Okay.
part when he was on one of his the shows that he was on, but I'm not positive when that happened.
Yeah. So I've heard that. I just was wondering about the timeline. But I do expect that that's going to start happening soon.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And then that they'll be more scarce, so you're going to want to save your resources now, in my opinion.
Right. No, I want to get as many loot boxes as I can before that happens because I
It-
really want to have a whole bunch of mills.
yeah.
Yeah.
Have you been hitting all 80 of your loot boxes every day?
Um, it seems like if I use my 80 cents,
Mm-hmm.
that I'll have somewhere between 65 and 75 loot boxes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's about where I've been hitting on average is between, yeah, 65, 75, right in there.
Yeah.
I think I've gotten 80. I've gotten 80 a couple days, but it's been a little bit lower consistently once your sons are all gone. So
Hmm. Can you get loot boxes any other way? Just by
that's the
cents.
only way. The only way that you can make sure that you get to the 80 is if you go and buy sends in the Upix store.
Oh,
So you
so
can do
you're
that.
okay.
So say you go
Okay.
out
I
and buy
didn't know that.
10 or 20 extra sends, you can get to that 80. And I actually have done that once or twice,
Okay.
but you can't
Okay.
go
That's good
over
to
the
know.
80. So
Okay.
awesome. All right. Well, I think we're going to wrap it up for Sunday Fun Day. And Shak, we thank you for joining us. And good luck on your feeding of your totems for the rest of the day. Don't miss any totem feedings. And I've
All
got two
right.
more to get
All
in
right.
tonight,
Well,
so I'm going to try to not miss those in between the game, and hopefully I can keep the rest of my totems alive. And then next cycle we'll have to strive to do better and not kill any. So small and
right.
steady
Right.
improvements as we go. So
Well,
and
this has been a lot of fun. Thank you.
Caesar was asking about racing. Caesar, we're not actually doing racing today. We'll get back on that Thursday. Usually KO streams that from his side of the podcast. Um, that's technically above my streaming that responsibilities. That's KO side of it. So we'll definitely get some more racing in this week, and we have some really cool things, and we have some really cool giveaways from some really cool people in the Hyde Park node as well. So we'll have all that stuff coming out Thursday, and then I think that's it for today. So, Shaq, do you guys have anything cool and fun and new going on over in your neck of the woods? I know you've got the Shack Attack podcast and YouTube stream now, so I'll make sure to put a link in our description of this video for that. And if you guys haven't seen that, definitely get on there. And she's got a lot of really great information that she's posting all the time and is very in tuned, with the communities, all of the communities. I think you're in every community that I know of, and is the player of the year with Upland. So if you need information, she is the go-to. She's got it all tackled.
Thanks, Ninja. I appreciate it. We've got the Creedmoor Research Labs, doing some cool experiments on totems. And so I will be putting out a video about the results of the experiments pretty soon.
Very cool.
All
All right.
right.
Well, we'll look forward to seeing that. And again, make sure you guys join her on her channel. What days do you stream? Do you have particular days that
It's
you're doing
not a
yours?
set schedule.
It's not. Okay.
Right
Awesome.
now, I'm very loosey goosey. And when I think there's an important message to get out, I will do it. I am not on a schedule at this point.
All right. So you heard it here, guys. Make sure that you guys subscribe and then click on the notifications for her, and then you'll know when she's on. Don't miss any of the
All
good
right.
stuff.
Thank you.
All right. Have
I
a great
appreciate
weekend,
you
Shak.
inviting
And
me on.
thanks again for joining us. And we will see you at the next one.
All right. Thanks, everyone.
Take
Bye.
care, everyone.